This video is about indices. First, a little vocabulary. Indices is the plural, index is the singular, and index just means power. Another commonly used word for the same thing is exponent. And so, like I said, the plural is indices, which is just the same thing as powers or exponents. Here's an example of index form. 2 to the power of 3. The 2 in this case is called the base. The 3 is the index, or power, or exponent. When we have a number written as a base to an exponent, or to an index, that is called writing the number in index form. A simple index form expression like this can be evaluated by simply multiplying the base number together as many times as indicated by the index. In this case, it's 2 by 2 by 2, which is 8. On our calculator, this button is the power button or the exponent button that will allow us to evaluate any number written in index form. So if, for example, I wanted to evaluate 2 to the power of 3, I could simply type in 2, press this exponent or power button, and then there's a little space on the screen for the exponent. In this case, that's 3. When I press equals, I get my solution of 8. So when I am told to evaluate a term like this, or to write it without an index, then what I want to do is I want to work out the answer like we've done here using the calculator. So here's another simple example. Evaluate 5 to the power of 4. Pause the video now and do this yourself in the calculator and then check and see if you're correct. So this time I'll press 5 and then my power button, and then my power is 4. I press equals, my answer is 625. And by getting a number answer like this, I have evaluated my index form number. Remember that with a simple index form question like this, all I'm really doing is multiplying the base number together as many times as I'm instructed by the index, or power, or exponent. Sometimes we'll have to go the other direction and go from a regular number to a number in index form. For example, I might be asked to express 100 in index form. What we need to do here is look for a repeating factor of 100. And it's pretty easy to spot in this case that 100 is just 10 by 10. So my base is going to be 10, and the number of repeats is the exponent. So 10 repeats twice in this multiplication. So I have 10 to the power of 2. That's a pretty easy example. So let's take something a little bit less obvious. So in this example, we want to express 32 in index form. Okay, so I'm looking for a number that can multiply by itself repeatedly to get 32. And there's nothing really obvious that jumps to mind. What things go into 32? 4 goes into 32. So maybe that might work. So what I'm going to do to check is I'm going to take the number that I think might be the base, and I'm going to divide it into 32. So let's try for 4 and see what happens. So 32 divided by 4, I get 8. And I'm going to take that result of 8 and I'm going to divide it by 4 again. And this time I get 2. And I'll take that result and divide by 4 again. And I get 0.5. Now, this last answer tells me that something's gone wrong, because if the number that I've chosen to divide by is the correct one to use as the base, then I should end up getting 1 at some stage over here as a result. And obviously I've gone past 1 and I haven't got that as an answer. So that means 4 is not going to be my base. So I can just draw a line through that attempt. 4 is not going to work. Maybe I should try a smaller number. What else will go into 32? Well, the smallest value that I can think of is going to be 2. So when I divide by 2, I get 16. And so I'll go through the same process as before. I'll take my answer and I'll keep dividing it by this number that I'm trying to test as a base. So I divide 16 by 2 and I get 8. And I divide 8 by 2 and I get 4. I'm not there yet. And I divide 4 by 2 and I get 2. And I divide 2 by 2 and I get 1. Okay, this looks good. I got 1 as one of my outcomes over here in my results of my division. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. And when I get to 1, I'm done with my division. Okay, but I'm not quite done with the actual answer of the question yet, because I want to express 32 in index form. So I want to write it as a number, a base number, to an exponent. Okay, so this number that I've repeatedly divided in, that successfully brought me to 1, is going to be my base. and the number of times I had to divide that number into my original number, so the number of times 2 had to divide in, that's going to be my exponent. And in this case, it was 5 times. Don't forget, exponent is just another way of saying power or index. So maybe I'm doubting myself a little bit and I want to be absolutely sure that I'm correct. Well, an easy way to do it is to take your number in index form and just type it into your calculator and see does it bring you back to the number that you started with. So in this case, I'll type in 2, use my power button, 5. When I press equals, I can see the result is 32. And that's what I expected if I was correct. So 2 to the power of 5 must be 32 in index form. Let's just do one more example of this. This time I want to express 81 in index form. So I'll have a look at 81 and I'll have a think about what might divide into it. So I know 9 will definitely go in. So I'll say 81 divided by 9 equals 9. Now don't forget, I'm not finished until I get to 1 at the end of my solution of my division here. So I have to go again. Okay, this looks good. I got to 1, I'm done. And now I want to write 81 in index form. So 81 is equal to, my base is 9 and my exponent is 2. With some numbers like 81, there's more than one correct answer. I could also have decided to divide 81 by 3. I get 27 to begin with, and then I get 9. Dividing by 3 again, I get 3. And doing it one more time brings me to 1. And again, when I get to 1, I'm done. So if I had chosen 3 as my number to divide by, I would have ended up with the result where my base was 3 and my exponent was 4. Both of these answers are correct. They're just different ways of writing 81 in index form.